Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 5 of Introduction to Philosophy. I'm Dr. Patricia Gross, and I will be your professor this week. Okay, so really quickly, I wanted to just show you a couple things. One, you have a video to watch here that's Core Concepts in Philosophy. That's about 16 minutes long, and that's in addition to the lecture for this week. So I'll try to keep the lecture for at least for Monday, the one that I'm speaking right now, a little bit shorter. Maybe also the Wednesday one, because that's a more hefty reading than I normally give you. As you can see, the slides that I'm using and the video are also linked here. And as always, the discussion board is linked here as well. And that will have your assignments on there. Okay, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Okay. Last time we ended the week, basically, and what your assignment was with the question, is it possible for friendship to last one's entire life? Cicero says not likely given the way that one changes over time, as well as how politics can get in the way of things. And I think that we could pretty much see this happening right now in real time. You may have lost some friends over politics recently. I know that some of my friendships have had to dissolve over these kinds of differences as well. It can be really difficult. And so you're going to be watching Gregory Sadler's Cicero on Friendship, Choosing Friends Carefully, Philosophy Core Concepts as your an extra reading or viewing this week. And he has an extensive collection of philosophy lectures online, and so I really recommend that. I think he's pretty accessible to most people, especially philosophy students. So go ahead and check that out and read it or watch it. Okay. So for this short lecture that I'm giving you, it's not really a lecture, I'd like to look at a few key passages from our reading this week. And this passage here our reading really begins with a discussion of freedom from care, right? And so what is he talking about? He talks about freedom from care. There's this kind of idea that you shouldn't be worried about stuff. You should be free from care in philosophy. And maybe people are like that today. Why do you even care, man? Why do you even care? And Cicero writes, superficially it looks attractive, but in reality there are many circumstances in which this is the very last thing we want. For there could in fact be nothing more misguided than to refuse to perform a good act, or having embarked on it, to stop in the middle merely in order to keep out of trouble. Right? Do you want someone that's not going to do the right thing because they're trying to be free from care? He continues his discussion about why you wouldn't want to be free from care with the following. A wise man cannot possibly escape having any feelings of distress, pain whatsoever, unless every trace of humanity has first been rooted out from his heart. If we eliminate all human emotions, there is no difference left, I will not say between men and animals, because animals have their feelings, but even between men and tree trunks or stones or any other inanimate object you like to mention. Whoa. So if you want to be free from care, you might as well be a dead stump, right? On page 200, Cicero repeats again that you should never ask your friends for anything that is not right, and never do anything for them yourself unless it is right. Why does he keep bringing this up? Because friendship is not about losing yourself or what you think is right, and it's not about using the other person as if they're an object rather than a companion. So in relation to this, like about not using your friends as your getaway driver, and also not kind of being swayed by this idea that we should be free from care and not care about people, Cicero talks about 3 limitations on friendship that people like to place on it, right? And let's go through them together. The first of them suggests that a man should have the same feeling for his friends as he has for himself. Is entirely wrong. He writes, we do a great many things for our friends that we should never dream of doing for ourselves. So people say, treat your friends like you would like to be treated. That's the golden rule. Love other people like you love yourself. No, Cicero says, look, sometimes I'm a total jerk for myself. I will go way above and beyond for my friends because you love your friends. He says the second attitude restricts friendship to an equal interchange of services and feelings, reduces it as too mean and narrow calculation of payments and receipts meticulously balanced. And that's the attitude of you should only do for your friends what they do for you. Who wants to live like that, keeping track of everything your friend ever does to you? And he writes, the third limitation is worst of all. This is the theory that a man's friends ought to estimate him at his own valuation of himself, right? And that's the idea that you should love your friends. I'm sorry, that your friends should love you like you love yourself. And that is just cuckoo bananas. We should always love our friends way more, right? And so on page 210 through 213, Cicero talks about different types of things you should and should not accept from your friends. I would like to point out that Cicero does not think it's possible to be friends with a bad person and be good yourself, or even remain good. This is something to keep in mind in your own life. There's been a lot of online chatter about this is really bad typing, the perpetuation of rape culture and violence against women online. And one of the suggestions on how men and women can help the problem in our culture is quite simply to quit being friends with awful people. Come on, you have that one friend, I mentioned this last time, that insults people, doesn't listen to women's opinions, or doesn't listen to people of color's opinions, or whatever. Maybe is super creepy and hits on everybody, or calls people like awful things because they're involved in terrible communities online. What would Cicero have to say about such a friendship? Easy. Don't be friends with bad people. And no saying, but he's such a good person besides X, Y, and Z, or she's such a good person except for the fact that she threw like her best friend inside a volcano or something like that, right? So you have to have, according to Cicero, hard limitations on your friendships. But that's it for today. I wasn't telling you to break up with all your friends, but maybe I am. Who knows? All right. Bye, everybody.